Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to the Kentucky Reptile Zoo today. There goes my prop. It's already going to be a mess, but we love that. My name is Charlotte. I'm an intern here at the Kentucky Reptile Zoo. I am currently studying zoo science in a school in Ohio, concentrating in aquarium science, but I've always had a big interest in reptiles. This is the star of the show. His name is Spice. Does anybody know what Spice is that I already told?
Corn snake.
That's correct. Spice is a corn snake. Corn snakes are found in some parts of Kentucky. They are found all the way up from New Jersey down south towards Florida. These guys are primarily found in the southern states, but they can live up here northern. Spike's scientific name is Pantheropus guttatus. Pantheropus comes from the word panther and opus. Opus means snake, and I'm sure you know what panther means. And guttatus means striped or speckle, something like that. Something along those lines. As you can tell, Spike is a little crazy. As you go on with this talk, Spice will try to run away from me. That is his first line of defense. Then if Spice is upset that I'm not putting him down, he may release his bowels all over me. That's his second line of defense. It's something he would do if a predator was pursuing him in an attempt to be like, hey, I'm stinky, I'm smelly, I'm gross, get away from me. And then finally, Spice would resort to biting. That's the case for venomous snakes as well. They really don't want to bite you. Their primary reason for having venom is to envenomate their prey and to get a meal. Unless it's a spitting cobra. That's a whole different story. Spice is not venomous. Spice is what we call a non-venomous colubrid. He kills his prey through, constriction. There we go. There's a common myth out there that constriction is killing through suffocation. That's not exactly the case. When a snake constricts something, it reduces their blood flow, and it basically just gives them a super fast heart attack, and then they will swallow them completely whole. Snakes are obligate carnivores. My friends on Facebook can get a good look at him as well. Spice is this beautiful brick red color. Remember that for later. Corn snakes are oviparous. That means that they lay eggs. They can lay anywhere from 10 to 30 at a time, and they will incubate for about 2 months. These guys will not give their babies care. They will lay them and leave. There are some snakes that will give them male care, like rattlesnakes and king cobras. However, these guys are not one of those. So, Spice, as a corn snake, is one of the most popular pet species in the world. These guys are the second most popular snake to have as a pet, primarily in Brazil, which is funny. So why on earth would I bring out Spice today? For the uninformed, you may have looked at Spice and been like, oh my god, a copperhead! Spice is not a copperhead. Spice is a corn snake, even though they both share this beautiful brick red pattern. Spice is completely harmless unless he poops or tries to bite me. A copperhead could hurt me really, really bad. Most likely, a copperhead would not be fatal unless he had some sort of outstanding heart condition. It would just hurt really bad. You should still go to a hospital if you are bitten by a snake. I brought out Spice today to make a point about Ophidiophobia, which is the fear of snakes. About 1/3 of adults claim that they have a fear of snakes, and about 2% of the population has Ophidiophobia, which is a phobia of snakes. This can lead to intense fears like fear of leaving the house, fear of going to a zoo. Sometimes even just walking in the woods, you may see a stick and have that intense sweating reaction, hyperventilating, nausea. And today I wanted to talk about some reasons why people may be afraid of snakes and the impact on the world. All right, here we go with my prompts. The first reason why people may be afraid of snakes is just innate instinct. This is going to get into the nature versus nurture argument a little bit. There are studies that prove that some babies are born with an innate fear of snakes, even when they have no prior exposure. So some people are just born with it, and there's nothing they can do to help it or control it except exposure therapy. And then we'll get into the nurture part. Traumatic experiences. If you or a loved one has been bitten by a snake, you may develop that intense fear of snakes. Right here behind the camera is Hannah. Hannah is another intern here. Her mother had a traumatic experience with a snake when she was younger, hence she is extremely afraid of snakes. Children are often very influenced by their parents, and say if Hannah's mother was constantly freaking out about snakes around her, Hannah could have developed that fear as well. Luckily, Hannah did not develop that fear and actually loves being here at the reptile zoo with her snakes. And you could also say a traumatic experience would be viewing a movie or something scary involving a snake. I like to compare snakes to the jaws of the land. Snakes, the chances you're gonna find them, it's common-ish, it's not completely out of this world. However, people think of snakes and they think of these horrible monsters that are sizing you up and hunting you down, and all they want to do is kill you. And they see sharks in the same way, when in reality, a snake cannot care about you any less. It just wants to sit in a hole its whole life and do much of nothing. This is from the 2022 movie Python, which is incorrect. Pythons do not have fangs. Pythons are non-venomous. Finally, we can see another reason in culture. Notably, this is right here is Medusa. Not sure if my friends on Facebook Live can see. This is Medusa. There is a Greek myth of if you look at her in the eyes, you will turn to stone, and she has snakes for hair. And then right here, this is a piece of art of the snake in the Garden of Eden. If you are unaware of the whole Christianity story, it is believed that the fall of humanity was caused by the woman Eve being tempted by Satan, the snake, to eat an apple, hence original sin, hence snake being seen as like the fall of humanity. Oh, there goes my radio. In media, we can even see some Ophidiophobia representation. If y'all have ever seen Indiana Jones, I believe the line goes, snakes, it's gotta be snakes, and he's like encountering a snake pit. Here's a clip from the movie. You can see him eye to eye with a monocle cobra. And that little thing that's circled right there, it's actually a lizard. So on the left, you can see the thing that was in that picture. That is what is called a sheltopusix, also called a glass lizard or a legless lizard. And that on the right is a snake. The way you can tell them apart is a few distinct features. Legless lizards have eyelids, they have visible ear holes, and they also have the ability to drop their tails. Spice does not have the ability to drop his tail, so I can demonstrate. Legless lizards and other lizards with the ability to drop their tails have stress fractures in the bones in their bodies, and when pressure is put on those, they can easily drop those and get away, while the predator has a pasty mill to itself. They can always, well, not always, but most of the time they can grow that tail back, but it'll never truly be the same. It may be slightly smaller, misshapen, discolored. Do I have any more slides? No, I don't. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the real world effects of people who are afraid of snakes. I better not keep on me. So one big thing we see with people who are afraid of snakes, they are less likely to donate and support conservation efforts. If you were given the choice to support, let's say, the green tree python, even though they're not endangered at all, in tropics versus, I'll give you a snake that's actually not doing well. What's a snake?
Like in the wild? I'm not sure.
One that needs efforts. Let's go with the ball python. Mm-hmm. The ball python is a snake that lives in Africa. They are currently being threatened by pet trade and agricultural influence and human interference. And then I'll give you a giant panda. Most people are more likely to say, I would rather support giant panda conservation because they are larger, they are fluffy, they are funny. You can see pictures of them rolling around and being silly on the internet for hours and days. People tend to like giant, charismatic, fuzzy, funny things. Even though snakes, they can be absolutely ridiculous sometimes. However, due to this notion in the media and culture that they are bloodthirsty little monsters, they are kind of, shoved to the side. We also see a lot of people who will see a snake in the wild and they will kill it out of fear. Two popular examples I have. One is with Spice. Like I said, Spice has this beautiful kind of orange, almost brick-looking coloration. It looks like something that we have here in Kentucky, a copperhead. So a lot of people see corn snakes and they think, oh my God, it's venomous, it's gonna kill me, and they chop its head off. You also see this in my home state of Ohio. In Ohio, up near Lake Erie, we have what are called Erie water snakes. People from Ohio are not the most informed on venomous snakes. They may see an Erie water snake and go, oh my God, it's a cottonmouth, chop its head off. A cottonmouth is something that is found far south. You can find them in like the southern tips of Kentucky, but you'll mostly find them in Florida, Georgia, those more southern states. So some lack of education may also lead to the killing of some snakes that are really harmless and really don't want to do anything with humans. The best way to keep yourself safe from snakes in the wild is by, for one, wearing closed-toed heavy shoes. Like if you're gonna go on a trail, maybe don't wear flip-flops. You also stub your toe on a rock if you do that. Make sure you stay on marked paths. Don't go wading into any brush or flipping over logs unless you have, we recommend like a snake hook or something that you can use to keep away from your body. And then, please don't pick up any crazy random wildlife you see. It could be diseased. It could also be venomous. Particularly when you see those coral snakes, they have a mimic of milk snakes, and it's really hard to tell the difference between them. That mnemonic of yellow on black, friend of Jack, and red on black, it's going to kill you. That's false. It's not 100% reliable, and let's just not pick up snakes we see in the wild. You can see Spice trying to get away from me. He may release his bowels soon, and honestly, it's fine. I can just wash it off. Some snakes will release something called a musk. It also stinks. It doesn't taste good. Had it in my mouth before. I wouldn't recommend it. And then, what was I talking about? We were talking about how to keep yourself safe from snakes. If you are ever bitten by a snake in the wild, if it is non-venomous, then just wash it out with soap and water, slap some Neosporin and a Band-Aid on it. You'll be right as Mary. If it is a venomous snake you are bit by, let's just say you're here in Kentucky, you're walking in the woods, you accidentally step on a copperhead, bites you in the leg. First thing you're gonna do is stay calm. Most people, their first thing is to go, oh my God, I've been bit. We're gonna be calm. We're gonna remove any material that is compressing our leg. We are not gonna cut an X into our leg and try to suck out the venom. People have tried that before. That just makes everything a whole lot worse. So you're gonna get off the trail, you're gonna safely and quickly, we're not gonna like drive recklessly like we're in GTA, we're gonna drive to the hospital, and they will evaluate if you either need antivenom or a copperhead bite. They will hurt very, very bad, but they are usually non-fatal to people who don't have outstanding heart conditions or other pre-existing conditions. If you're bitten by a timber, please go to the hospital. Luckily, here in the United States, we have two main antivenoms that are very broad spectrum. They will treat any rattlesnake bite, copperhead, cottonmouth. The only exception to that will be a coral snake. They need their own special kind of antivenom. Does anybody have any questions about Spice, about Ophidiophobia, about literally anything? And I'm happy to show Spice off. I can get as close as y'all would like. You just can't touch. You can take pictures though. And my friends at Facebook Live can take a good look at him. Hope nobody's too afraid of snakes. There's his face. Spice is really antsy right now. He eats once a week, and today is his food day, so he's hangry.
What's he doing with his tongue?
Spice is searching for odor particles in the air. Snakes have something called a Jacobson's organ. We actually have remnants of an ancestral Jacobson's organ in our mouth. It's non-functional. Obviously, it's vestigial. Spice is searching for odor molecules in the air, and he is bringing that back into his mouth and sensing what's going on around him with his Jacobson's organ. He is making sure there's no food around him, no threats, nothing crazy that's out to kill him. He always thinks something's out to get him, though. Corn snakes usually have a much more calm demeanor. Spice is just special. Spice is spicy, hence the name.
What are you gonna feed it?
Spice will eat a small mouse. Well, small like medium mouse. Here at the Kentucky Reptile Zoo, we try our best to feed everything stuff that has already been deceased beforehand, stored in a freezer, of course. Most snakes here eat every 2 to 3 weeks. Some snakes will go even a month, sometimes even longer without eating. We try to reduce the amount of snakes that need to be fed live, just for ethical concerns. Plus, stuff can bite, and we'd rather stuff not bite. We don't want any of our snakes getting bit. Yeah.
Where do you go to school?
I go to school at Audubon University. It's a small little town right
I
around
work in
Ohio.
Westerville.
You're from Westerville?
I work there.
Oh, that's my hometown, yeah. I'm studying zoo and conservation science with a concentration in aquarium science and a minor in biology.
Oh.
It's a huge mouthful. But I would love to work with reptiles someday as a full-time career. But honestly, I would be happy with literally anything that's not like a horse. Big mammals really scare me. But the big pythons don't scare me, which is strange. There's a little bit of a disconnect there. Yeah.
I don't like horses or snakes, so.
Well, what's funny is the way that you make antivenom is with snakes and horses. The way that it kind of works, in the most kindergarten way I can possibly explain, after we extract venom, which we do here, we do that at 1 p.m. every day for y'all watching at home. We will extract that venom and we will dehydrate it, so it'll be like a powder basically. We will send that off to a facility and they will inject that venom into a horse. That horse will then develop antibodies towards the venom, and after a little while, they will extract that horse's blood and they will take a look at those antibodies it made. It's kind of shaped like a Y. It's got 2 antibodies and then a marker. The marker's like, hey, look, I have horse DNA. So they chop up that marker, and then those antibodies are used in the antivenom process. So if you are ever bitten by a snake, you should always tell your doctor if you are allergic to horses or sheep. Sometimes they use sheep in antivenoms. Which is a strange connection. You wouldn't think horses and sheep would go together. I mean, not horses, horses and snakes, sheep. There's a lot of strange connections with livestock and snake. Like these guys are called corn snakes because they're commonly found near cornfields. Because they eat the rodents that try to get the grain through the silos. They're found in farms, abandoned buildings, grasslands, those types of areas. They're also a semi-arboreal species. That means they like to spend their time in the trees. So they're very, very good at climbing. Like, you all weren't in there when I was getting him out, but he was really trying to climb away from me. He did not want me to take him out. And that rat snake in there. Rat snakes are also a species you can find in Kentucky, but are also arboreal. Right. If we don't have any more questions, I'm happy to let people do photo ops of Spice while he's seemingly nice and chill. I think he's just tired of me. Oh, what's up?
What if you are allergic to snakes? Wait, no.
If I'm allergic to horses?
What animal would they use?
That is a good question. I don't know if they use anything besides horses or sheep. What if you're allergic to horses and sheep? Well, I'm hoping you wouldn't be out of luck. Antivenom is the only way to counteract the effects of venom. It won't completely dissolve it entirely. Your body will naturally flush it out. Which takes a little while, unless you're absolutely compensated.
Alright.
Yeah. So Spice is going to say goodbye to the camera. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Tomorrow we'll be doing another talk. This will be going on until Saturday. Tomorrow our talk will be on snakes and culture. So if you like that little segment about Medusa and the Garden of Eden, we will talk about that more tomorrow. We will also primarily focus on snakes in Chinese culture from one of our interns who is from China. And then on Saturday, we will be doing a reptile talk on ball pythons, morphs, and what you see in Morph Market and those exploitative settings. Not ball pythons, corn snakes are huge victims of that. So if you're interested, you're welcome to tune into our Facebook. We'll be doing that at 3 p.m. Thank you all so much for listening to my talk today, and I'm very glad Spice has behaved.